podcast that refuses to live life on mute. It's time to amplify the truth and drown out the noise. Coming to you live from the Lord's Lair in the Shenandoah Valley, this is Life on 11. We're turning up the volume on faith and kingdom living. Here are your hosts, Jeremy and John.
What's happening, dog?
What's up, brother?
Nothing. Just chilling.
Literally
chilling. Is it ever going to get warm again?
I think it's going to be like close to 60 tomorrow.
Okay, my furnace has been out since like Friday night.
Dude,
It's cold in the Prater house.
What's the temperature in there right now?
Well, right before we came out to record, I think it was like 52.
Oh, well, that's better than like, what was it yesterday? Like 40 something?
Oh yeah, well, like the morning it'll be colder.
Yeah.
Well, and so the upstairs. So we have two furnaces, one for up, one for down, and see Saturday the up one froze too.
Ooh.
And so we had no heat at all. And so at least the top one now has.
Oh, so it's running now?
It was earlier today.
Okay.
I have not verified this evening.
Okay. So you have comfortable temperatures upstairs?
Yeah. At some point,
well, that's good. Good.
Yeah. How about you? How's everything?
Good. Yeah. It was a good Monday.
It was a good Monday.
Yeah.
How about Sunday night? How about the Super Bowl? How'd you feel about the
like
Super
I said,
Bowl?
I was rooting for the food and for the fellowship, and those two things were great.
Job well done. Mission accomplished.
The game, I could have done without. Wasn't much.
Somebody asked me today who I thought the MVP should have been, and I was like, the commentators to navigate us all through that jump.
Yeah.
Like
I saw a couple people saying, "Hey, the kicker goes 5 for 5 on field goals." I mean, come on, he should have been MVP.
Probably. I don't know, man. Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker. He did have a great game.
He did have a great game.
Yeah,
100 yards by the first half.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
It's pretty good.
But the game itself was just not.
It was garbage.
I mean, I felt like we were watching we were watching a Sunday night game.
I feel like we were watching typical prime time.
Kind of fit the season in that regard.
I
guess
it did.
Yeah,
it was a very different NFL season.
Yeah. But we had some nice pulled chicken.
We did.
Fat Boys. We had some smoked wings, buffalo chicken dip, sausage balls,
candied bacon,
mac and cheese, street corn.
Oh, it's great.
Bourbon beans. And we may or may not have taken a day off from the weight loss.
Somebody said, was it a cheat day? I'm like, cheat day sounds unethical.
Yeah.
It's a vacation day.
It was a vacation day. There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Use a little PTO.
Yeah. How many vacation days do we get?
I wouldn't recommend any.
One a month.
Okay.
So one a month.
Okay.
Yeah. We can survive that.
That's cool with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But no, it was a great night other than that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to play some state championship basketball this week.
That's right. When do y'all leave for that?
We're going to leave Wednesday night. First game is Thursday morning, 9 a.m.
Ballin'.
Trying to win the first JV state championship in program history.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
The varsity team's going for a three-peat.
Whoa.
They're going for a three-peat.
Wow.
So
that's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
I mean, even 2 in a row is hard to do. So
I think they can do it. They're pretty legit.
Okay, that's awesome.
I will be surprised if they do not win a third one. They got one dude. Put this name on your radar. Liam Velker.
Okay.
Dude is legit.
Okay.
Probably definitely the best homeschool basketball player in Virginia. Might be the best. I've read 2 reports that might say he's the best in the nation.
Okay.
Is
he getting any looks?
Oh yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
Sweet.
He hadn't decided yet.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good.
So
yeah. Well, let's get down to business. We got stuff to talk about tonight.
We absolutely have stuff to talk about.
We are in our 3rd week of our Radical Frequencies little mini series here. We're talking about Anabaptist pillars of faith, beliefs, and practices. I really enjoyed last week.
I mean, you said it was your favorite. And like I said, I believed you after you really drove it home. Yeah.
This week is a faith.
Yep. You said this week is probably going to be my favorite.
I think so. A faith that moves.
Yep.
a faith that moves might be yours. So we're going to be talking about tonight how the practicality side of Anabaptist faith. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things. So interestingly enough, can you name a famous Anabaptist theologian?
A famous Anabaptist theologian.
Yep.
You put me on the spot here. I got nothing.
Even if I didn't put you on the spot, the answer would probably be no.
Okay. Well, good.
There aren't really any.
Okay.
Because Anabaptist theology is meant to be very simple in its roots.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you can find some theological readings, Johann Noss and some other people that did some stuff. For the most part, it's supposed to be a very practical faith. Anabaptism is a very practical sort of faith.
And that's where I fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a simple guy. You want me to be a simple
Oh, okay. All right.
Man.
I'm down with that. Okay.
Okay. Anyway. So, yeah. So what does real faith actually look like?
Faith? I mean, the definition of faith is, correct me if I'm misstating, but believing in the things that you cannot see. So then, as in the Anabaptist faith, you then put the faith into action so that people can see the results of the faith that you have, if that makes sense.
Correct.
So that's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. The emphasis on it's not just what you believe, it's what how you practice what you believe. Yeah. And it's interesting because one of the things we might get to this in one of the other episodes, but like for the longest time, like Anabaptism is known for not having a creed. Mm-hmm. And the Covenant Brethren Church that we are now a part of has a statement of faith, which is probably the closest thing to a creed that most Anabaptist groups have ever had. But the statement of faith isn't. It's a core document, but it isn't the end of it, because there are so many times I think like, man, you can believe all sorts of stuff and you can sign a statement of faith or whatever. Mm-hmm. What's the word say? Demons believe and shut.
Oh yeah.
And so it is. There is an special emphasis placed on the things that you do in relation to your faith. Faith without works is dead. Things like that, because there are, and I'll tell you, like, I struggle with that sometimes. Like, I struggle with the amount of people I know who, like, if you ask them, like, do you believe? Like, they believe Jesus is the Son of God and they believe it, all the things, mm-hmm. but their lives aren't giving off the fruit. They're not producing the fruit of repentance.
Yeah.
And how do you wrestle with that in the world? Because, I mean, you can say you believe anything, but.
Yeah. I mean, there's, I think we've talked about it on previous podcasts where, the majority, I assume it's probably still the majority of people identify as Christian. Like if you ask them, they're going to say, yeah, I'm a Christian. I know about the Bible. I know Jesus, and but like you said, it can't just stop there, right? At least in the Anabaptist belief and practices,
right.
That's not the end,
right? Which is interesting.
Give it legs,
right? Which is interesting because so one of the questions I get asked a lot is like altar calls, because we don't do like a ton of altar calls,
sure, yeah.
Right? And my theological lens is we don't do a ton of altar calls for a reason, because we are to be a people who are living out our faith, and it's more than just coming to an altar and saying our prayer. Mm-hmm. And if you offer altar calls all the time, it feels to me like it can just be like, okay, well, just you hear this like, okay, all you gotta do is just say this prayer, hand up.
Yep.
Every knee bow, every eye closed, every head bowed, and every eye closed. And if you want to go to heaven tonight, just raise your hand. And it's like, I mean, that's where it starts.
Yeah. Yep.
But there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. I mean, Jesus said, go and sin no more.
Well, Jesus never had an altar call.
Well, yeah, I know, but
I mean, seriously, though.
You're right. You're right.
Like, I hear people, they're like, you never do an altar call. I'm like, who else never did an altar call? Jesus. There's no sinner's prayer in the Bible. Jesus wasn't like, all right, put your loaves and your fish down. with every knee bow or every eye closed. Like, come on, man. Like, he was very different than that. I don't know.
Yes.
Somebody's probably going to be angry at me because I said that. I'm sorry.
No, it caught me off guard, though. It caught me off guard. It was good. I liked it.
I don't know, man. So the problem is that can slide to legalism, though.
Oh, legalism.
I mean, it very much could, legalism. And you and I talked about that a little bit, like our growing up, that it can be a very legal.
Yes. Yep.
So, but we're not talking about obedience as legalistic.
Yes.
Not what we're talking about. We are talking about a kind of obedience that comes out of a heart of love and wanting to obey what Jesus said. He actually said that himself in John 14 John 14 verse 15. He said, "If you love me, you will keep my commands."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's a covenantal relationship.
Yeah, and I often think of the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are all things that we can give legs to. I'm going to use that several times tonight, probably, but you can use all those things to show your faith to others through your actions and the things that you do.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the misconceptions that many people have about Christian faith is the legalism part.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that Christians don't do or do, that they're like, oh, you're doing that because you're a Christian. Well, I'm doing that because I love Jesus.
Yeah.
And I love God. And I want my life to reflect that. And I want to make choices that look like that. And yeah, that's not legalism.
Yeah.
That's affection.
Yeah. The legalism that, that I think of is you can't do this or you can't do that.
Right. The reason I don't have an affair on my wife is not because I'm married.
Yeah.
It's because I love my wife and I don't want to hurt her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The reason why I don't, abuse my children is not because I might go to jail. Well, maybe some days. No, the reason I don't abuse my children is not because I don't want CPS to get called, because it's because I love my kids. I don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's the same thing with Jesus. Legalism doesn't come from this heart of what you have to do. It comes from what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of who you love and who you serve. It also means that, that we are known as people who work out their faith.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
So what does working out faith look like to you? I know that's something you're pretty passionate about. You're passionate about anything with the word work in it.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I like some good physical labor.
Yeah. So what does working out your faith look like to you?
I mean, to me, one of the things that I think about, especially when you talk about Brethren and Mennonite, you got the MDS, Mennonite Disaster Service, and you have the Brethren. What's it?
Brethren Disaster Ministries.
Brethren Disaster Ministries. I was going to say service, but I was like, that's not right. So you think of them, they're two of the biggest boots on the ground right away when there's, natural disasters or catastrophes or things like that. And that is those people working out their faith. They're there to be the hands and feet of Jesus when it's needed most. And so that's very core to specifically Brethren and Mennonite, just because that's where you and I both come from originally. But yeah, for me, that's a piece that I grasped. I'm physically able to do all these things with my hands. And that is a thing that I can do to help somebody else if they need it. And to me, that's working out my faith. And if it leads to an opportunity to talk about Jesus or, something like that, that's great. But it doesn't necessarily even have to every time. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of people think of. They're like, oh, well, they're going to try to talk to me about Jesus, or they're going to try to save me. And I'm not into all that church stuff, but it doesn't necessarily always have to be that way. It's just showing Jesus's love and seeing where it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So Galatians chapter 5, serve one another in love.
Yep.
One of the things that I always thought was cool is I did a few Brethren Disaster Ministries trips.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I always appreciate is they talked about how, like, as brethren, we didn't care if we were the first people to a disaster, but we want to be the last to leave.
Sure. Okay.
In a lot of places, I mean, they were pretty close. They were there for, Katrina, we were there for a long, long time. I mean, Red Cross had kind of gotten, they're on to the next thing. A bunch of other places, they moved on to the next thing. Like the brethren were still there working because they wanted to be a steady, long presence in that community and not just pop in for a short time. I mean, everybody's equipped to do different things. It's really cool because you have, Samaritan's Purse and you have like a Red Cross and place like that, they're equipped to just hit the ground and go.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's close to, months, maybe even a year before Brethren Disaster Ministries would get there. But they were always there for a long time.
Sure.
Trying to help people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the service part is really at the core of who most Anabaptists are. There's a reason why those things, work out. And I do think a lot of that, Jeremy, has to do with the roots of the simple faith, the simple people. There's not a ton of like, powerful Brethren Mennonite, Anabaptist folks. They were very common folk. It was never the, like we talked about before, it wasn't the state religion.
Yeah.
So it wasn't ever the denomination or the faith movement of kings and nobles. It was a peasant like faith. It was people who, were standing up against an authority, and that's kind of built into our DNA.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of like super, complicated brethren or Anabaptist movement, because it's a very like, the people are very simple people, know.
And another one that comes to mind is how many times, like even in the the secular world, a lot of people know about like a good old Amish barn raising.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
and like that's a perfect example of everybody working out their faith to help a family of the church that lost a barn, maybe in a fire or whatever. They all just get together. They have fellowship. The men work, the kids play. A lot of times the women are preparing food for everybody, and they put a barn up in a day.
We need to have a barn raising.
Okay, let's do it. I'm game.
All right,
I'll build anything.
Yeah,
I love it.
But we got to find somebody who needs a barn.
I'm sure there's somebody that needs a barn.
Needs a barn.
Yeah,
somebody needs a barn.
Okay.
All right, somebody comment on the podcast link. Let us know you need a barn.
The only problem we got to figure out is who's paying for the materials.
Well, they got to do that, don't they?
We'll
provide the labor.
It all depends.
Okay. All right.
we got to work that out. We got to work that
us. Contact us.
Good old fashioned barn raising.
It'll be a small barn.
Like
a lean. How about a lean-to raising?
This is more in the budget. This is getting smaller by the minute.
That's right. Okay, we're gonna have a playhouse.
I saw a couple 2x4s out back.
Are we good to go?
We could probably whip something up real quick.
We done.
All right.
Absolutely.
This is good.
It's funny because you talked about the secular world.
Yeah.
And that segues into integrity in daily life. One of the things that Anabaptists are known for is, that like you practice what you are the same no matter where you are. And,
sure.
And one of the core values of that is the lack of a secular sacred divide. So there is no categorization of life. And that really like blows my mind when I thought about it the first time. But now like I see it, like even to the point where people are like, oh, well, do you listen to secular music or do you listen to Christian music? I'm like, oh, I listen to music.
Yeah.
And, where that music falls in there's much more to it to me than secular and sacred. And so for Anabaptists, there is no secular sacred divide.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that? Yeah,
no, I think of it and I've heard people say, oh man, you can't say that. You're in church. I'm like, well, if you can't say it in church, you shouldn't say it anywhere. You know what I mean? That's one thing that comes to my mind. Like there's nothing you should be saying outside of church that you shouldn't be able to say inside of church. Cause there shouldn't be a divide between the two. Like I'm going to be holy when I'm in the Lord's house.
Right.
But as soon as I walk out the doors, it's anything goes.
Right.
It's not supposed to be that way. At least in the Anabaptist faith, that's how it's there is no divide there. It's supposed to be the same.
Right. It's like for some people, they kind of view their faith like as a light switch.
Yeah.
And so I turn it on in certain situations and I turn it off.
Yeah.
Right. Or being inside or outside, well, right now I'm in faith and out. And then at other points I'm out. And Anabaptist faith would say, no, you are always in doing something for your faith. Its result is either positive or negative.
Sure.
But literally everything you do in your life is sacred because the Holy Spirit lives in you.
Yes.
And so you're either doing something sacred or you're making something sacred because the Spirit lives in you, or you are quenching that same Spirit. You can't just like go, well, I'm not being Christian right now. You're just quenching the movement of the Spirit, or the voice of the Spirit in your life.
You're not just like putting the Spirit on the shelf for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so like if I go to Walmart, I'm still like, the Spirit lives in me. Like that still can be, if I allow it to be, a sacred opportunity, whether it's the way I spend my money, the way I act towards other human beings while I'm in there, the values that I have while I'm shopping, like those things become sacred because I am a follower of Christ that the Holy Spirit lives in, and I'm going to do those things now. So like Walmart becomes a sacred space because I am there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
And the other one I think both of us really loved was the idea of like a kitchen table faith. That's a really cool phrase.
It is. It's a really cool phrase, and I think I said when we first started talking about it, like that is needed more than ever today, and the go the speed of our lives. Like, I think of how many times one of us is not home in the evening to be able to sit around the kitchen table. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, even when I was a kid, like we pretty much always had dinner at the kitchen table together. And even before like the 20 years before that, I mean, literally everybody was at the table together. Like it wasn't an option. But now you got all the sports and all the after school activities and all the things. And that's one that I would say is being lost, losing that kitchen table time with the family.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I know it is at our house.
Yeah. It notes here say the most important spiritual moments often happen in ordinary places, not the pulpit, not the sanctuary, the kitchen table, the workbench, the car ride, the field, the factory floor. Sure. Right. One of the things I know we talk about, probably not as often as we should, but we talk about it fairly often at Mount Zion, is like, so the goal of church is not an evangelism event, and it is a gathering of all of our family units who have went out and they have discipled their kids and they have lived their lives and they've been missionaries and kingdom builders all week. And then we get back together for worship to share those stories on what God is up to in our individual places, to hear a common message to empower us to go back out again.
Sure.
Right. And I know for me, like as a pastor, like there are times like, I mean, I know I've said it a bunch. Like if this is the only time all week that you're worshiping God, you're around God's word, like we have a problem. And like the goal of worship is to bring what all of our individual family units have been doing all week together and put them under one roof and tell stories and do that as a unit, not to be like, okay, well, I mean, sometimes I hear like people be like, oh man, I can't wait to get to church because I need to fill up my cup. You're like, well, that's not just it, right? Like I get that. And there are definitely weeks I'm like, man, because I need to see my family, I need to see my friends, I need to be in God's presence. But like church can't be the only place you're getting your cup filled.
Yeah.
And a kitchen table faith reminds us like every time we get around in these simple places, God can still very much be on the move. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's a very different idea than
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you think about the a lot of the other I don't want to say faith, but the non-Anabaptist faith, yeah, a lot of it is about the Sunday morning performance or whatever you want to call it. That's literally that's where you get your God at.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. Well, let's be honest. If Sunday mornings become the measurement of our faith, like anybody can look faithful for an hour on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
that's all.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure, that's easy.
If you never missed it, if you didn't miss a Sunday of church in a year, like that's only 52 hours that you have to practice this stuff, right?
Yeah,
with a bunch of people watching.
Yeah,
right. Like, and so the idea is like, no. You're practicing it all the other weeks long, and then when you get back together, you're being challenged again, or you're being uplifted again, or you come back to go like, yeah, I really messed that one up this week. Let's talk about that again so that I can get that right. And then being dispersed on mission.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like you said, I mean, it's good we talked about it in the community podcast. It's good to have brothers and sisters within your church family that you talk to throughout the week that, you don't have to wait until Sunday to talk about something that you're struggling with.
Right.
Or something, a God story, an amazing thing that happened to you that week.
Mm-hmm.
You can be like, oh my goodness, listen to this, or man, hey, will you pray for me right now because this happened? You don't have to wait until Sunday to ask for prayer. Like you don't have to wait until Sunday to give a praise report.
Mm-hmm. So, and if you surround yourself with those people, you surround yourself with the word, we talked about that last week, like you're surrounding yourself with the word of God. So it's literally everywhere you go. And then you're surrounding yourself with people who are faithful. Then that is spiritual formation, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, early brethren, especially early Mennonites, like they were kind of known for those things. They lived in pockets. I mean, it wasn't really commune living, but they lived in very densely populated areas.
Yeah.
And, there's, all sorts of stories about sharing meals together and, sharing houses. And I mean, there's a whole like culture that goes on with it. I mean, I don't know that brethren did this, but how did Mennonites, like you talked about, like they would build each other's, build barns and stuff like that. But then the other side, like when they would travel, they would know Mennonite families along the way.
Oh, sure. You Mennonite your way.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering where you were going there. I was like,
I could.
What is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So explain that. That.
So Mennonite your way, because of the way the Mennonite community was, like you said, in pockets, like specific areas like, Kansas and some in Ohio, like here in the Shenandoah Valley, some up in Canada. But like if a lot of times Mennonites would travel to other Mennonite pockets, and along the way, Mennoniting your way would be either you would stay with somebody who somebody knew, or somebody who was somebody's family, or whatever. Like you didn't get a hotel, like you stayed with someone, whether you actually knew them or not. Mm-hmm. They were part of the community, right, as a whole.
Right.
So yeah, you Mennonite your way.
Yeah. And so, but that just shows you like the dependence and like you're part of a bigger community. Mm-hmm. And I think about that like now, like it is hard because I will say sometimes it's hard to remember when you surround yourself with your church people, like there's not a divide between what's a church event and what's a regular life event.
Sure.
Because the people that I hang out, like if we had today's Olivia's birthday. Okay. Mm-hmm. If we had a birthday party for Olivia, it could probably be considered a church event.
Fair.
Because the people who are showing up are people from church.
Sure.
And then like some family that would probably go to church with us if they didn't live so far away.
Sure.
Right. Or we watched the Super Bowl last night. Literally everyone that we watched Super Bowl with last night were people we were in church with that morning, because it's that like faithfulness, like surround yourself with the people that are going to encourage you and help you and not, be a hindrance on your faith.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's a very Anabaptist thing that we did last night.
Yes, it was.
Sort of. We probably,
there was food.
Yeah,
check
but
that one off.
We paid for the food.
That's true. We did.
It's not very frugal. It's not very
Anabaptist.
Not very Anabaptist of us. We would have
had everybody
would like butcher their own hog or something. I don't know. Bring radishes from their garden. I don't know.
We're gonna have to do better then.
I ain't eating no radishes. Not for no Super Bowl.
Oh, no, I'm not eating radishes either. But
Okay.
I mean, that's just an example.
Okay.
There's
we're
other
done.
things out of gardens we can eat.
Yeah. So how do you practice your faith in your daily life? What's it look like for you? We've given some examples for us and talking about the importance of being a faith that walks, a faith that does something about it. Hopefully you find some space this week in your life to do something about your faith, do something with your faith. It's the best way to be.
Yep.
Jeremy, it's been a good night.
Always is.
What are you going to do with your faith tomorrow?
First, I got to have the faith to get out of bed.
For each.
But it's supposed to be nice and warm tomorrow. So my faith will probably be shining all over my face tomorrow because it'll be nice and warm.
I got perks with the pastor in the morning.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I'll be able to make it there, though.
What? Come on.
No.
You don't drink coffee anyway, loser.
Hey, chai tea latte, bro.
Okay, well, come on by. 7:30 to 10.
Actually, you know what? I might be able to.
If you're in the Broadway area, 7:30 to 10.
Yeah.
Come on by. Coffee's on me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely there.
Or chai tea latte. Excuse me. Give the proofy man his chai tea latte.
You like chai tea latte too?
All right. Have a good night, buddy.
Thanks again for tuning in to Life on 11. We hope today's discussion gave you something powerful to think about and apply to your walk with Christ. If you enjoyed the conversation, the best way you can support the show is to share, like, and comment wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to connect with us. You can find us on Facebook or TikTok by searching for Life on 11 Podcast. We love seeing your comments and hearing how these episodes are impacting your life. Remember, keep turning up the volume on faith and kingdom living.